To all who come, welcome. Disney is the time machine that takes us back, connects us together, and shows us that not even wishing upon a star ever gets old. Now come sit with your friends, Jonelle, Sean, and Megan, as we deep dive into the heart of Disney.
Hi, friends. Welcome back. Happy New Year's. Haven't seen you since last year. Haha.
If you say that joke one more time in my presence, you are sleeping on the couch.
I just said it for the podcast.
Man, we both have an attitude towards Sean tonight.
Damn. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I blame Agnes.
To be fair, I don't like Agnes either.
I don't think anyone likes Agnes.
Oh my god. You know,
we're talking about Zack and we're almost to the end of Zack and Cody, third from the end, where we meet the character Agnes.
Thank you.
Ugh. Yeah, Agnes. Yeah. Continue.
Agnes is hitting puberty. And God, do I hate that stage of life.
I don't have context. Again,
her whole behavior, though, is just, I am fangirling over you, like, thanks, babe, type of thing from Bluey. I just don't like her. She is the annoying 13-year-old girl going through puberty, who has an obsessive crush basically over any guy that's willing to give her attention, and that is good enough in her mind when she needs to focus on herself.
Yeah, there's like a few different types of girls going through puberty. There's the boy obsessed, where it's just like every week it's a new guy, or every day, or you know what, every few hours. It depends on the girl going through puberty. My sister was constantly having a new crush, and I was like, great. Then there's the panicked ones. Oh my gosh, my body is changing. I'm very anxious about it. Then there was the shy types. That's like, my body is changing. I must like hide everything that is happening. And then there was the emotional types. You get a whole bunch of new hormones that you're not used to, so you're always crying.
I was a mix of the shy and boy crazy because, like, I was embarrassed to talk about how boy crazy I was. So, like, essentially, I was Agnes. There is this guy named Nathaniel. Me and my friends went crazy over this guy. He was the hottest guy in my grade. And for like a very long time, we weren't even in the same grade, but he was a grade above. Besides the point, we all knew where he lived.
Mm-hmm.
His dad was a cop, and we're just like, damn, he has a nice name. He's like the best looking guy in our school, and he has like that swag. Everyone basically went boy crazy, but me and my friend went extra boy crazy to like
boy insane.
Yeah, like after school we would walk over to his house before practice and like, you know, stupid girl shit, but just be like, I like you, Nathaniel. I was literally an Agnes, okay? This is why I don't like her.
See, to add the male experience into the fold, I can't say, I don't know if this is necessarily like every guy's thing, because frankly, guys just don't talk about it. But we get told about puberty, and we're like, okay, and
see,
kind of just move on with our life.
Male puberty really doesn't hit like peak performance until you're an adult.
What do you mean by that?
So like, yes, you have the physical body changes of like, you're now tall, you have a deeper voice, and you can create life. Congratulations.
Oh, and then more body hair.
Yeah, but it's not really until you're an adult that like the concept of what changes your body has gone through, and the fact that your body is still changing, because men are still developing when they are adults.
Same as women.
Okay,
like no, like
but
men
like
or women don't stop developing.
Men are still growing plants, though. This is the thing. Us women, like, we kind of stop. Like we start early in school and then we stop in high school. Men kind of start in the middle to high school phase and they just keep going.
Let me try to clarify what Jonelle is saying before you step in.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, from my understanding of what Jonelle is saying, like, girls often, like, experience puberty sooner than their, like earlier than their male counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
And we have, I don't want to say more changes, but more noticeable changes. Like, guys like sprout up really tall and then they get the big muscles, but girls get blood. Girls get boobs, and girls also, like, their figure physically changes,
Well, and then also the emotional changes
and then the
too.
emotional changes.
Because with men, you're going to be getting more testosterone, which that goes more into like you're going to be more generally, you should be more outgoing, but like with more, because females who have PCOS, we get a lot of the male traits that we don't want. And so, like, the ones that we don't want are generally the ones that just continue to keep growing into adulthood.
And I feel like, because females, oh, sorry, this will be my last comment. This is my last comment, sorry. Because females experience it so early, it feels like it feels like, because we start so early, because it can start as early as 7, it feels like that, like, the consequences of girls going through puberty is like, the main one is like your period hits and it's like, okay, you are officially like a female, right? Guys can, and it feels like guys become like men like somewhere after that. Okay, now you may go. I'm sorry.
Unless I don't interrupt me. Here's the thing. So, I hear you both. I am pulling every piece of knowledge I have from working in the medical field, taking classes relating to the medical field, and the fact that 98% of my friends growing up have been female.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make one small amendment to one thing you guys are both saying, and it's that women start earlier. Women can start earlier because every person is different. Men can even start as early as 8 years old too, because it's around a concept I'm not going to bring up on our not, even though we're not a kid-friendly podcast, I don't want to bring that part up.
Due to other reasons.
But
well, okay, ejaculation is not the only reason that makes a man a man.
Hold on. Just like how you guys are also referencing periods as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's more than just like a period that makes a woman a woman.
Yeah.
I'm saying men also can start late. Yes, in a general trend, men take longer, generally, finish puberty generally later on. And yes, women do experience more noticeable changes right on, which again is part of why I'm saying men learn about it and it's more or less okay, because yeah, we get taller, get more, like, muscles tend to like develop more and
More
things like that. But there's less conversation needing to be had because it more or less remains status quo. It's just growing for the most part. Hair, size, like, it's just all growing.
But
it's all growth
see,
related.
I feel like this is where more study could go into, because in order for your body to get more hair and more muscle and more of all of that, you need more testosterone. So I feel like men could potentially just get educated a little bit more on what the hormones are doing to their body, because that's what females are taught. And so we know what is happening to our body in a stronger degree because we know how the hormones are interacting.
Well,
Not saying that like men don't, but yes, you guys do go through it
Yes, obviously.
longer.
Yes, I know this. I'm a guy. Somehow you're like mansplaining the one thing about men.
Look, I'm just saying, like, guys don't, like, yes, guys are very much boob, ass, boob. Most of, besides you. besides you.
No. Now you're hitting a nerve. Hear me out on this, because you're hitting into a stereotype.
Did we not call out the stereotypes of girls in puberty, though?
We did.
Okay, we're calling out the stereotypes of men in puberty. There are the ones that are boob obsessed.
Yes.
Yeah. There's also the car dude.
That's not a puberty.
That's just a car. Dude.
That's as Megan would put it, guys being obsessed with objects in motion thing.
Shut up. Okay.
But see, that's the thing, though. Like, I think it has to be part of it because that's the time, like, when they're generally changing and then they can, like, finally learn how to drive. And then they're just like, oh, I can go zoom, zoom, zoom.
I'm feeling very called out right now.
Like, I feel like I'm going into, like, maybe
we should have Sean explain the guy stereotypes going through puberty.
I'm just saying maybe these things might have no correlation to male puberty, but what if they did?
Here's the thing. If you're going to look at how, because you've framed women's a lot more on the emotional side of it, obsessed with boys, being more...
What if men were emotional too and they just weren't that emotional?
It's different though. Like,
see, they're more objective.
Let's take it apart, okay?
Men are more objective. Boobs, car, farm.
No.
Workout.
Listen.
Yeah, like redneck.
Listen. Yes. Puberty. Sex hormones become the thing. It goes both ways. Yes, there's going to be some in where, like, yes, their attraction levels go up. On the other point of it, though, it's not going to be car, farm, whatever. Muscles are being developed. That's when athleticism hits its peak.
Look, I'm just making some fun at the stereotypes that are made of men. And I just wanted to put out that possibly the correlation of, there may or may not be a correlation, but just the fact that there is the stereotypes of men, and what if that was correlated to male puberty changes as they are continuing to grow.
I don't see the correlation so much as, like, yes, there are, like...
Because of how there's girls when they go through puberty of just like, oh, you're the shy girl. You're the whore. Like...
My thing is like, if you really want to pin down, like, the stereotypes of men, you have
puberty.
In puberty, you have, like, the athletes. You have the ones who get angry all the time.
True.
That's where the testosterone piece really plays in, is on anger. Not necessarily outgoingness, but anger.
Well, I think it depends on also, because it depends on who you are and how you let that anger out, because you can let anger out in a good way, or you can let anger out in a bad way. And if you grew up in a not good home, you're more likely to do what your parents did.
Okay, I just this is unrelated to both of you, but, like, if you saw me make a face on the podcast, I fell asleep just before recording, so I'm just waking up. I found my headphones I was looking for like 5 minutes, and I was so excited.
To bring us back to Zack and Cody, though, with Agnes, like, her boy obsession between Zack and Cody,
it's horrible.
It's so horrible.
She's ruining their lives.
Very much so, and I really hate their mom's piece in it. I really do.
Yes.
What's up?
Okay, I have a lot of feelings about this specific topic.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am working with the younger generation. And so, I have to really think about, like how I treat boys versus girls in my like very young classroom. And, like, this episode plays out a huge ick I have. Like, because Agnes is a girl. By the way, if you couldn't tell, Agnes is a girl. And so everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's so sweet how Agnes really likes Zack or Cody, depending on...
It's creepy AF.
It's creepy. If Zack or Cody were to do the same thing to Agnes, everyone would flip their lid. But because Agnes is a girl, like, it's okay. Like, could you imagine, like, Zack or Cody going to Agnes's dad to be like, hey, I just want to get to know you. No.
And this is just where I kind of wanted to go on the puberty talk, was just that these things come across weird.
I mean, it doesn't just come across weird. I feel like this episode did not age well.
No.
You want to know something really interesting, though?
What?
This isn't the first time Disney's done it.
I know, and I'm mad.
In Jessie, they have creepy Connie, who has an obsession with Luke, and it's a recurring theme.
Well, and then in Wizards of Waverly Place, there's Harper, who continuously has her thing for Justin until she meets Zeke.
Yeah, but that one was more toned down and controlled in a more appropriate way.
But also, at the time of recording, Harper's a little bit older, too.
Yes.
And also, like, listening to their podcast, it sounds like they had a lot more creative control than maybe some of these younger children.
And she's talking about the Wizards of Waverly podcast.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It really makes me upset
Mm-hmm.
that like all these adults see what's happening and they're like, oh yeah, this is fine. And Zach and Cody are, and mostly, I'm going to say mostly Cody's like, I do not want this, because he's very vocal about it. Like, I do not want this. I was nice to her once. And this started happening, and then like he brought up that like this kid moved away because like Agnes was being so horrible to him, and I like as an adult am like, okay, probably something else happened that made this kid move away.
Well, yeah, they said like he moved to Arizona.
He moved, but could you imagine like that your kid's life got so bad because of this one girl who had a crush on him that you moved all the way to Arizona from like New York?
I don't think that was the reason. I think that was Cody's paranoia and like a rumor.
Right, but like still
in Kidland, they don't understand that like it could have been a financial issue or
like,
something like
job
that.
or whatever. But like still.
Well, yeah, and like that's my point with like the mom. Like I really hate like Zack and Cody throughout this entire season have had moments where it's like, ooh, I like this girl.
Mm-hmm. Because that's normal.
And so they're like, the mom should be aware, like, no, like if they like a girl, they like a girl. Like that hasn't been a secret from her. Why would this all of a sudden be completely different? Her saying men, oh, it's your girl it's your friend who happens to be a girl, like playing it as if like they're just dumb boys versus acknowledging like, no, this is not like all the other times. This is creepy.
I was gonna ask, have any of you guys had a moment like in your childhood where someone was being creepy in a way like this?
Like,
I'm always labeled as the creepy one because I'm a guy.
I mean,
to Megan's point, I'm a guy. I'm always labeled as the creepy one.
But like in this case, the girl is obviously creepy. Agnes
Yes.
is obviously creepy AF. I've been the creepy girl because I went outside Nathaniel's house and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're cute.
I mean, I guess. Okay, so I had a childhood friend who, like, my family was very close to. So we'd, like, go over to each other's houses all the time. And, like, his photo would be up to my family photos because, like, we were together all the time. And people thought that was really creepy. It wasn't either of us being creepy. It was just, like, okay. Yeah. But, like, both my friend and I, both at one point got labeled as, like, the creepy person because, like, we were just, like, coexisting in, like, the same area.
The closest I think I had to a creepy person was your roommate.
Yeah. F your old roommate.
Man, my roommate, she was weird, though. I do not appreciate having to put down the name, the address, the number, and whatever else of whoever I was going to be on a date with on the board every time I left the room, which was like almost every other night. And I couldn't keep up with that.
Oh my gosh.
No, to me, she was creepy.
Oh my gosh.
With how she interacted with me and stuff.
Oh my gosh. You know who else is creepy when it comes to, like, kid sitcoms? Oh my gosh. Zoe 101, the one that's, like, obsessed with the computer.
Quinn.
She's also creepy as fudge.
She gets better, though.
That's what you keep saying, but whenever I see her, I don't know why the, like, creepy girl stereotype
is the nerds.
Well, one is the nerds, but two, like, everyone's like, oh yeah, it's totally problematic. There's only one character that I can think of who is a nerd, who, like, has, like, the same, like, what was her name? Twin energy, that isn't labeled a complete freak. And that is whoever helps Kim Possible in her little thing.
Oh, Wayne.
Wait.
Yeah, he's not creepy.
And the only reason he's not creepy is because Kim Possible is a superhero.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. If Kim Possible was a normal teenage girl, then he would be considered creepy.
I think that's where Ron gets considered creepy.
Mm-hmm.
And Kim Possible. Can we move on to like the really cute story?
I was going to say, can we talk about the dogs?
The dogs are the best part of this episode.
Okay, listen. I have a confession.
Did you hate it?
I hated it.
I thought you said it was the only redeeming part of the episode.
Yeah. And that's a low bar.
Touché.
Okay, so my little brother was obsessed with the Air Buddies growing up.
Oh, I loved the Air Buddies movies. That was my
Here.
favorite thing to rent from Blockbuster.
Oh my god.
Guys, I'm gonna ruin Air Buddies for you.
I'm gonna ruin Blockbuster.
You know the Snow Buddies one where they're like in Alaska?
Yeah.
There was like 3 to like 15 dogs that were killed due to neglect.
Aww.
Yeah.
But that was only one movie.
I think that's like one movie, like,
They learned.
but
One
like,
many, too many.
yeah. But like, so I watched a lot of really bad we can all agree that their talking animations are horrendous by today's standards.
By today's standards, yes, but also like by then standards, like these, like obviously this is like very cheaply done. Like the buddies were way better than this.
Yeah, but like, you have to understand, my brother, when he had a fascination, like, he would eat, sleep, and breathe it. It's the reason why I can't watch Minecraft for more than 5 minutes. It will make me physically want to vomit. But I don't know, any talking animal episode just makes me squirm. And for the most part, I'm like,
you must not like live action Lion King then.
No, not really.
Because like, yeah.
Mufasa? No.
Yeah.
It's better when it's not dogs. So like, G-Force was less of a problem because it was guinea pigs. But like, it was just too. In Beverly Hills Chihuahua was another one that I'm like, can't do it. But especially, I don't know, they were trying to do like the whole like Cinderella, like poor boy meets rich girl thing.
I always thought it was like a playoff of Lady and the Tramp since his name was Scamp.
I mean, yeah,
They
but
even had the puppies.
But like,
yeah.
it felt very.
That was cute.
It felt very icky because London's like, oh, we're gonna breed them, and I was like, in my kid's TV show.
I think it's one of those things where it's like
that for
different...
the adults.
I mean, here's the thing.
Animal breeding is very normal for me, so like I was
gonna say it's very normalized, and it wasn't, oh, we're gonna breed them, it's, oh, puppies, and so kids are like, oh yay, puppies. Like they didn't, like, I know like as adults we understand that process, but like, even I'll use like Little Mermaid as an example. In the second Little Mermaid, Ariel has a baby.
I guess like where my brain thinks of is like
the taboo of having the animals forcibly have some type of intercourse.
Because in my head,
sell them.
In my head, I was thinking, oh, so they're gonna be like, oh, there's gonna be a wedding, because that's usually what they say. Like, oh, there's gonna be a wedding. They jumped straight to puppies. Not, oh, there's gonna be a fancy wedding or like a big party to celebrate. Straight to puppies.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. Well, I guess I kind of ignored London's side of it.
London?
Yeah. I said I ignored London's part of it.
It
sounded like I said the other name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, with London's, like, the only thing I find entertaining about London is how much she's, like, completely misreading the situation. Because I find it funny, whereas, like, as, like, a pet owner, it's like, we don't know what's going on in the cat's head.
Man, I would love to know, though.
I don't.
Like, and so I find it really funny, like, hearing, like, Ivana's, like, complete like roasts of London, like, oh, and you still think 1 and 1 is 4.
On an exponential rate, it is.
I also don't like Mosby in this episode. For the most part, I tend to like Mosby more than most people like Mosby. I tend to be like, yep, Mosby's like pretty much like the only like person who's like responsible, and like I understand his point of view 99% of the time. But this episode, Maddie's like, the house is getting fumigated, which is already like we've seen her where she lives. That's like an entire apartment worth of like animals. And because they have one animal, that means either like they literally had to pay for that animal to be there. And if the whole apartment is like getting fumigated in like New York, which is where I think this is supposed to be, then like a lot of like the places where you would take those animals, like a dog daycare, would be filled. So like when she's like, my house is getting fumigated and I have nowhere to take him, and then Mosby's like, well, we don't allow dogs. And then literally like London walks in and she's like, there's a dog.
See, there's a one question that goes through my head which makes me not have an issue with that. Because my question then becomes, where is Maddie staying? Where is her family staying? Where are her parents staying? Where are her sisters staying? Why does she have to bring the dog to the place she works?
Right, there's a lot more questions.
So that's why I have less of an issue with Mosby saying, no, we don't allow dogs. Because I'm sitting here like thinking, how are you supposed to watch a dog while you're working?
Okay, listen. I used to work with a coworker who had a blue and gold macaw. And she, the bird, broke her wing. And birds need a lot of attention, especially this bird. And my coworker was allowed to bring this bird to work and basically set him up in a separate room that wasn't being used. So that way my coworker could go check on the bird. And I'm like, I could totally see Maddie being like, I need for like the 24, 48 hours that it's being fumigated, just can I store him in like a closet?
I
Just
hear you.
while I'm on, like, I will check on him during breaks. I can see because she is like the one high schooler that has a job.
I've had a coworker who's brought a dog to work before.
Yeah.
And I was working at Safeway, so I was in the check stand, and she would just keep her golden retriever at her feet while she was working at the check stand.
Well, yeah, and like I get it, but again, the other questions still lead me to the question of like, why is it Maddie's job? Where are her parents? Why can't the parents take care of the dog? Where are they staying? Why can't the dog be where they're all living at? Like, I still have a bunch of other questions that don't make sense why the dog at that point has to be with Maddie. If it's the last resort, I get it. But again, the other questions lead.
It will never get answered.
I know.
And like, Mosby acts like Maddie does this a lot. Or at least has met this dog before. But Maddie acts like, you know what? Like, that Mosby has never seen Scamp. It's one thing if Scamp constantly is tearing up the, like, hotel. We've all seen destructive dogs. We know what they can do. But from what we see in the episode, the most trouble he causes is, like, barking.
Well, and I think I don't remember if he said like it was okay at first, but then Maddie lost the dog, and then he was very adamant like you need to get the dog out. In which case, again, don't blame him because at that point she failed on her responsibility to watch her own dog.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even bring him on a leash, just was carrying him.
Yeah.
So I have less beef with Mosby over the issue.
I think I had beef with Mosby, like, when he was first like, no, you can't. And I was like, yeah, I mean, like, hear her out.
Mm-hmm.
But when Maddie lost the dog, I was like, yeah, you're supposed to be working and, like, keep the dog in a little crate.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the dog in a storage room. Yeah. Like, it's your responsibility. act like it.
Yeah.
And then I also got mad at Esteban.
Someone should have told that to a person in my house.
Yep.
Sorry, it's been a crazy
It's been a crazy week.
The new year has been off to a crazy start.
Hence why this new year is starting off a little bit later than expected.
Yeah, but that's okay. We made you guys wanting more.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
How did you feel about Esteban being like the dog's accomplice?
My only thing, I want to know how he got roped in. Here's the thing. Would any of us be able to read the situation to let them into a random room, know to get their favorite foods somehow, and be able to tell us they're in love, they want to be together? How would any of us read this exactly?
Okay.
Like, this doesn't make sense. And then, like, having the waiter, like, actually be able to understand the fancy dog wanting his check. I'm sitting here like...
But the dogs were also fake talking.
I can see how Esteban gets like roped up in this because we all see how, I don't want to say emotional, but like how emotionally intelligent Esteban is. So I can totally see him being like, Maddie and London are not taking care of their pets appropriately, and they tend to like each other more than they are like being aggressive towards each other, right? We can understand that. Where he goes from that, I can see Maddie being like, oh yeah, my dog really likes kibble on pizza. Like, what's that about? And I can totally see Esteban hearing about, because he's the bellhop, like carrying up, what's the
whatever the hell Ivana likes.
Yeah, I can totally see him being like being told like, hey, can you go give the London this dog dish? I can totally see that. So I can see where he gets those two things. Everything else, I'm like, no idea.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. And like, I do have to say, I do like that they had the fake talking, because it reminds me of like Pokemon episodes where like they would have like the Pokemon away from the trainers and they have to interact with each other, and they would have like the subtitles of like showing like what they're saying to each other.
Bobby?
So like
No.
you have like, we hear Pikachu going Pika Pika Bee Pika Pika
Pika,
Bee.
Pika,
Like he's
Pika.
like, okay guys, we have to go find Ash. Bulbasaur, you go do the... Like I remember those moments and I love those
I
moments.
think the reason I love those moments is because you got to see the personality of the Pokemon outside of like their trainers. We've never met Scamp until today, and we have only seen London's dog like a few times.
And we've already been to Maddie's house.
We've been to Maddie's house, but like it's
Maddie's room.
But like we haven't really seen like the animals just be. And so when the Pokemon were like, oh yeah, I know that. I can see that like being their character. These two animals like didn't exist as characters before this episode.
Well, Ivana did, but again, I think it's like that point of like, there is no way to give Ivana more than just being London's dog without there being another dog.
Mm-hmm.
So that gate allowed us to see the two of them.
The only thing I found funny about this episode was not that long ago, a few episodes ago, we had Zack and his date with what's her name?
Max.
Yeah.
It was literally 2 Zack and Cody episodes ago.
Yeah. Mac and Zack.
Zacks.
I love how Zack was pretending to be Cody while still dressed like Zack. Like that was supposed to fool this girl who has a big crush on his twin.
You would think twins would be better at trying to fool, like take each other's places.
Okay, listen. I get why, from like an adult point of view, of like if you just put Dylan, yeah,
Dylan is Zack. Cole is Cody.
yeah, Dylan Sprouse into like Cole Sprouse's clothes, everyone would just be like, isn't that just Cody? And so like I understand why they didn't, but like as also an adult who's like watching this TV show, I'm like, he obviously didn't try.
See, if it was me, if I was like costume department, I'd have them like in Cody's clothes, but have it be just completely done wrong in the sense of like Zack doesn't know how to dress like Cody, so have it be like a poor attempt at it, like clothes that wouldn't go together, like nice clothes, but they just don't work together.
Yeah, something like that. Or like Cody wears a lot of like polo shirts and like sweater vests. So I
Mhm.
can imagine the sweater vest being backwards.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
like I feel like there's like more creative ways to go about that.
Yeah.
I don't like how one quick she made the switch from I like Cody to I like Zack.
And this is in the beginning how we were talking about the girl who's boy crazy.
Well, yes, I get the girl who's boy crazy. Yeah.
Because they take anything that comes their way. And like for me, I know the reason why I did this growing up was because I was told that a man is going to provide you everything that you need. So to me, it just was like I had so low self-esteem that it was any man who came my way, I was golden. I didn't care who, it was just as long as they were a male, which is obviously backgrounds.
Megan has gears in her head grinding.
Half of it is because I'm waking up and I'm trying to be thoughtful and insightful for this episode. The other part of it is like random thoughts.
I just think that there's like there's a point of being boy crazy, then there's Agnes.
Okay.
Because the actions are way above and beyond.
The part where she was on the like
scaffolding outside.
I was like, no. One of my worst nightmares, is like seeing someone watching me through a window. No, nope. And that's the part where I would have like called my mom and been like, this girl who likes me is literally on our scaffolding. Like, this is invasion of privacy. Could you imagine if like they're young teenage boys, they're not going to like do anything like stupidly stupid, or they might, knowing them, but like, could you imagine if something like was happening, like the dad was over and Carrie was fighting with the dad, like that, such a personal like thing to be like looking into someone's living room.
Well, and to be creepy to be as high up as they are in that giant hotel.
Yeah.
Like that's just crazy on like a safety aspect.
Oh my gosh.
And
to not be accompanied by adult.
Facts. Well, and like,
how does she even get up there? Like, how does she know how to work it?
Right, honestly. But and then like I also hate the fact of like I know like where like how like what you were saying, Jonelle, like anything a boy does, like when they're like boy crazy and stuff means a guy likes you or whatever. I really hate what this does to the idea of a guy just being nice and how that's always misconstrued to be, oh, a guy has a crush on you.
But it happens every day.
Trust me, as the guy who is the guy that just wants to be nice, it bothers me to no end because even my own friends.
But see, I have a friend of a guy who is being nice to girls in hope that he gets a relationship because he likes them. But the girls are like, oh, you're telling me you're doing this just because you want to be a nice guy with no strings attached? That is like, obviously, like, yeah, I will accept that. But then he will get angry at them when he's like, hey, I have feelings. And they're like, I thought we were just friends, dude.
Here's the thing. Let me have my male experience because I am a guy that is just genuinely nice to women. Because I had, like I said, 98% of my friends growing up were all women. I can only recall 2 that were actually men. And so it bothers me because, yes, there are obviously going to be some guys where it's like, you have to be nice. I'm going to be nice so I can get the girl. There's always going to be those people. But then there's also the people like myself where you're just being nice. And next thing you know, because like I had friends, I would say, dude, you're like flirting with her. And I'm like, I am. I was being nice to her. That's not flirting. And then there's the way I see it personally is if a guy a nice guy. We all know the nice guy.
TM, where it's like they're being nice, but like they want a reward for it.
No, not the reward part. Just the general, like the nice guy character, the guy that like gets overlooked for the bad guy or whatever.
The dude that's just living in bliss.
Like every Hallmark guy before she meets the hometown one, where he's just like, I'm just being a CEO. Like, I'm just doing my job, and you're mad at me?
There's a difference between when the guy who's nice is just being nice and when he actually is interacting with a girl that he truly likes. There is a distinct difference in like the behavior that is happening. Not saying that there's aren't guys that like can and will do like more nefarious things, but all because a guy is nice does not equate that he has a crush on you or wants to get in your pants.
Oh my gosh.
It's such a bad pet
I'm
peeve.
just saying I do know guys who are like that.
There's
Yes.
both, and both exist, and the hard part of being a female is figuring out which people are being nice to you just to be nice to you, and which people are being nice to you just to get something from you.
But as a guy, I also see the perspective of like choosing a girl to date you and then a girl is liking you because of the fact that you're offering her something, or she likes you because she likes you. She thinks you're dumb and cute or something like that. I don't know.
Have I ever told you my mom's
Haha.
dating
Hold on.
rule?
What?
Have I ever told you my mom's dating rule?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
So my mom made this rule for me and my sister in high school. Not my brother, because it was only for the females. She said that the hardest thing a guy could do ever in his life is ask a girl out. So you must say yes unless you have one of these 3 specific things that happened. 1, you are in a committed relationship already. Like you already have a BF, GF. Then obviously you're not going out on a date. 2, if the guy was like you could prove that like he was like generally a bad guy. Like just like playboy who's like breaking hearts. Or 3, if Sean asked me out, like, hey Megan, can you go out with me this Saturday at noon? And I already had plans, I would have to be like, sorry, Sean, I can't, and offer up a different time. So if we were ever asked out, we had to say yes.
Which is dumb.
I was never allowed to date, and we all know how that worked.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why am I holding Piglet?
I'll tell you after.
Okay.
it was one of those things where, like, if Zack and Cody were the creepy ones to the girl, oh my gosh, they would have been hated.
Yep. But anyways, I think we're talking in circles now, so let's end the episode.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week.
There's no good conclusion.
There's nothing. Like, we just hate this episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's just bad. So we'll
But
see you guys.
next week's episode,
Finally!
it's the best episode of Zack and Cody. What I've been told. What do I think about it? No one knows until you hear.
See you guys next week.
Bye,
friends.
friends.
Bye.